Hi there ladies and gentlemen, this is Eastwood for Life fan, and this is movie pickups update for the month of June 2019. A little late putting this out. Originally planned to put this video out a few weeks earlier, but one gets busy like us all, and I always try to keep regular on YouTube as much as possible. So these are the titles I picked up in the month of June 2019, and we'll start off with the 4K titles that I picked up, and just the one for June. And you guys know I had to pick up the 4K release and Blu-ray release of the Mule, directed and starring Clint Eastwood. This movie is inspired by a true story. Fantastic performance from Clint Eastwood, now in his late 80s and approaching his 90th birthday. And I did watch this movie earlier in the year at my local cinema. Thoroughly enjoyed this movie, where Clint Eastwood plays Earl Stone, a 80-year-old man who's kind of lost his way a little. His business has gone downhill. Relationships between his ex-wife and his daughter has sort of declined over the years, as he was always work before family and friends. But Eastwood, who plays Earl Stone, goes to a family function where he meets a family friend who gives him a contact, as he is broke and short for money, and it's a contact for a job as a delivery driver, which Earl Stone takes. And little does he realise that he is getting very well paid for making these trips. Then after a few trips, he then realizes that he is a mule working for the Mexican drug cartel. Fantastic cast in this movie. Also Bradley Cooper, Lawrence Fishburne, and also Andy Garcia. Been a while that I've seen Andy Garcia in anything of note. But highly recommended movie, The Mule. Not one of Clint Eastwood's greatest movies, but thoroughly entertaining, and I would recommend this movie for all Eastwood fans for sure. On to the Blu-rays next, and another Clint Eastwood movie. This is the Shout Select US release of Hang 'em High. And this is a 50th anniversary edition. It comes with a slip cover. Did have the UK release of Hang 'em High, but that was a fairly basic release of this late 1960s American Western. And there is the original artwork. And Clint Eastwood gets wrongly accused in this movie as a thieving cattle rustler, and then he gets hung up and left for dead, only to survive that. And he later on becomes a lawman and goes after the vigilante group led by Bruce Dern, who left him for dead. But very good Western, this one, Hang 'em High, which he made shortly after the Dollars trilogy movies. A few Westerns here that I received in the trade package with Don East and Maniac 77, which I've done a video of that trade package. I'll briefly show these Westerns. And he sent us The Ballad of Cable Hogue, a Sam Peckinpah American Western that I'd never seen before, starring Jason Robards. This is a Warner Archive collection release from the US. Sam Peckinpah, the director of The Wild Bunch. Then he sent us Little Big Man with Dustin Hoffman. Been many years since I've watched this Western. This one's early 70s. And another Warner Archive collection release. And this is Paul Newman in The Life and Times of Judge Roy Bean. I didn't realise that this movie was directed by John Huston. And Paul Newman plays an outlaw who turns judge in this movie. The next Western is a movie that I picked up at my local HMV, released early in the year. Didn't do hardly anything at the box office, and this is The Kid, starring Ethan Hawke. Haven't seen this one yet. Anyone who has seen this Western, let us know on your thoughts. Did watch the trailer of this and it looked okay. Comes with a slipcover. On to some Italian movies now. And a Eurocrime set that I've always wanted to pick up. And it's a German release put out by Cook Media or Koch Media, and it comes with 3 Eurocrime movies from the 70s, and you get a documentary disc also. 3 movies in this digipack, and the 3 movies are Double Game, starring George Hilton, also known as Violent Turin. George Hilton made many spaghetti westerns and giallo movies. Then you get 2 Maurizio Merli movies. This one is Fear in the City. Also starring in this movie is James Mason. And then you get Convoy Busters. In this digipack set, there are the discs. And the last disc is the documentary on Eurocrime. Not enough Eurocrime movies on Blu-ray, in my opinion. And this is Region B, and it does have English, German and Italian English, German and Italian language options. It is Region B and it is a German release. Did try to pick this up on Diabolic DVD online, and it was all sold out. And I finally picked this one up on Amazon Germany, as this set is limited, and it's a nice Eurocrime set of movies. Definitely need more Maurizio Merli Eurocrime movies, as a lot of his movies have never been released, as he was the top star in the 70s on the Eurocrime movies. Some more Italian movies. This is the Bud Spencer and Terence Hill box set. This is a Dutch release. Stack of movies, 6 movies in this set. I have seen the first one, which is Crime Busters, made in 1977. Funny and entertaining. Odds and Evens. And then you have Who Finds a Friend Finds a Treasure, Go For It, Double Trouble, and Miami Super Cops. great partnership, Bud Spencer and Terence Hill movies. Started off as a spaghetti westerns, onto comedy and action movies. A fine set. And if you'd been watching my last few updates, I've been picking up a few Walter Hill movies, and this one is The Driver, the second movie that he directed, and he made this one after making Hard Times with Charles Bronson, and this one's a good one. I've not seen this one in many years, starring Ryan O'Neal as a getaway driver, and Bruce Dern is the cop who tries to catch him at it. And if you love your 70s crime and action movies with plenty of car chases, then this one is must watch. And for me, I think this movie might have influenced the movie Drive with Ryan Gosling, in my opinion. But a very good one. Not a massive fan of Ryan O'Neal, but him in this role, he was near perfect in The Driver. Next three titles are also part of that trade package. Picked up a couple of, sent to us were a couple of Chuck Norris movies. Missing in Action 2, The Beginning. Chuck Norris goes back to Vietnam. This is an American release. And then you also sent me Braddock, Missing in Action 3, the final movie in the Missing in Action series. Glad to complete the Missing in Action collection, and in time I will be doing a Chuck Norris collection video. 2 action movies from the 80s, early 90s. Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man, Mickey Rourke and Don Johnson. This is a Shout Select release. Next 2 movies are in a double feature set, which I picked up for a good price in my local CX. This is the FX Complete Collection, put out by 101 Films in the UK. The 2 movies, FX1, Murder by Illusion, and FX2, The Deadly Art of Illusion, starring Australian actor Brian Brown. And also Brian Dennehy. Brian Brown plays a special effects man, the best in movie business, and he teams up with cop Brian Dennehy in these 2 movies. Have seen both these movies back in the VHS days, and definitely the first one was I do remember. And I didn't realise that they did make a TV series a little bit later on, which ran for a couple of seasons, but not containing these 2 actors, of course. One of Bruce Willis's best movies, Tony Scott movie, The Last Boy Scout. Great action. One of the best action movies in the 90s. Tony Scott made some great movies. Top Gun, True Romance, Beverly Hills Cop 2, and Denzel Washington's best movies also. But this is a cheap buy, and always wanted to pick this one up, The Last Boy Scout. It's been a while since I've seen this one. Quite a few of you picked up a lot of titles from the Arrow video sale, and there wasn't really many that I was really interested, but I did pick up this Kurt Russell movie, Dark Blue. Movie directed by Ron Shelton, who directed White Men Can't Jump. And this is about LA cops and corruption. Crime thriller, this one. And I've got to be honest, I've never heard of this movie until the last couple of months. This movie must have skipped me by. And that is the other artwork. It does come with the booklet. Did watch the trailer of this and it looked good. Also in this movie, Ving Rhames and also Jonathan Banks, who played Mike in Breaking Bad. So pretty good cast. Had to pick this one up in the Arrow video sale. Gangster movie, Public Enemies, directed by Michael Mann. Not seen this one since I watched the cinema release of this movie, starring Johnny Depp and Christian Bale. And I actually enjoyed this movie. Pretty good shootouts in this movie. Cheap buy at the local CX store. Need to revisit this movie again. I'm a fan of Michael Mann's movies. Last stack of Blu-rays. Picked up Terminator Salvation. And totally forgot that this was missing out of the Terminator collection. This one stars Christian Bale. And doesn't feature Arnold Schwarzenegger in this movie. And it's not a bad movie, even though Arnie's not in it. But I'm not sure if I am looking forward to the new Terminator movie, even though Arnie is in it. Not sure how long he's going to feature in the movie, whether it's a small part or major part, which gets released later in the year. This is Terminator Salvation, the director's cut. Next one is Law Abiding Citizen, Gerard Butler and Jamie Foxx. This is a crime drama. This was sent as a freebie from the trade package from Donnie. The last few were picked up at my local CX store. This one is a sports documentary. Manny Pacquiao, the great Filipino boxer, champion of many boxing weights, the only man to have won world titles in 8 separate weight divisions. And this is an excellent sports documentary narrated by Liam Neeson. And actually, Manny Pacquiao has a fight next weekend against Keith Thurman, which I'm looking forward to also. But definitely one of the great fighters in the last 10-15 years and still fighting today. I picked up the first 2 seasons of the Marvel Netflix series Daredevil, and I've wanted to check this one out since last year after watching the trailer, as this looks really dark as a series. This is the first season, and also picked up Daredevil season 2. And I've been told that this one, together with The Punisher, are the best Netflix Marvel series at the moment. Let us know on your thoughts, which one's the better series, out of Daredevil or The Punisher. So that was all my Blu-rays. Onto the DVDs now, and I have 11 DVDs. First 7 were sent to us, part of that trade package, and I'll quickly go through those as well. The first one is a Hitchcock style thriller, The Spiral Staircase. Never seen this movie before. Next one's a comedy western starring Lee Marvin and Oliver Reed, The Great Scout and Cat House Thursday. This title does not sound familiar to me. I've seen most of Lee Marvin's big movies, top movies, but not this one. So it doesn't sound familiar. Rituals starring Hal Holbrook, which I did watch, and pretty good movie this one. Kind of like a Deliverance B movie, slasher movie style movie, this one. And it has been upgraded onto Blu-ray from the Code Red label, but not a bad one. Rituals. And he did send us this nice 3-disc special edition of Spielberg's comedy 1941, which he made in the 70s, starring John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. 3 discs, and this came in a nice collector's box case. Been years since I've seen this one, 1941. And a triple feature action movies, Last Boy Scout, which I did pick up as a Blu-ray, Don Johnson, Dead Bang, which is the movie I really wanted to see out of this set, underrated cop thriller, Dead Bang, and also Action Jackson with Carl Weathers, and I enjoyed that one back in the VHS days. But real good triple feature set of action movies. Dark Blue, which this movie did spark my interest, and then had to pick up the Blu-ray. And the last freebie he sent was Vanishing Point, the ultimate car chase movie, which has had a UK Blu-ray release, but I'm not familiar with this movie. And on the 4 DVDs that I did pick up myself, this one is White Fang, a Franco Nero movie, directed by Lucio Fulci in the early 70s, based on the Jack London novel. And this is a bootleg because as far as I know, there's no English audio release of this movie. Set in the snowy mountains in Canada. Never seen the White Fang movies, but massive fan of Franco Nero in his westerns and Eurocrime movies. Then I also picked up the sequel, which is The Return of White Fang, which he made a year later in 1974. And this is the German DVD, which does have a English audio. And another Lucio Fulci movie, The New York Ripper. This is the Shameless DVD release, and I picked this one up as a bit of a blind buy. I've never seen this movie before. Obviously I've heard of it, and it's tagged as the sickest movie ever made. And I picked this one up for a very cheap price. And I do know there is a real nice Blue Underground collector set of this, so if I enjoy this one, maybe I might upgrade to that collector's set put out by Blue Underground, the New York Ripper. Never seen this movie. The last DVD I picked up, and 50p at my local CX store on DVD. I do know there is a Blu-ray release of this movie in France and Germany, but I do prefer English text, and I suppose it's only a matter of time before this gets released in the UK or in the US. Kevin Costner film, also starring himself, Robert Duvall and Annette Bening. Great Western, and my favourite American Western that Kevin Costner starred in. Preferred this one to Wyatt Earp and Dances with Wolves. Open range, fine Western, great shootouts. So that is all that I received and picked up in the month of June 2019. Sorry for the late update. I try to keep a bit more regular with you guys. So guys, till the next video, stay healthy and well, and as always, keep on collecting physical media.